Guys, good day. Just a test drive of Stelato I didn't want. I wanted to compare it with some European. It could be compared with the S-Class, for example, with the Mercedes EQS, but they have a huge price difference. The S-Class with 500 horses and more costs 3 times as much, plus it's also longer in length. And recently Mercedes introduced its new E-Class, which I'm sure would be interesting to see even without comparing it to Stelato. Although it's also more expensive, but not 3 times. Unfortunately, it was not possible to put them side by side. Mercedes didn't agree to it, so we'll be stitching the video together. Have a seat, make yourself a cup of tea. Let's start. I compare and will compare an electric car with a gasoline one, because today people are massively, especially in China, switching from internal combustion engine to electric. No matter what kind of excuses the Germans make about issues with selling electric cars. Last year, for the very first time in the history of automobiles, the best-selling car was the electric car Tesla Model Y. In reality, the problems with selling electric cars are specifically with German auto brands. They lost to Tesla and the Chinese in the electric sector. And in the 2 most important markets, the USA and China, where half of the world's sales occur, they lost even more dramatically and significantly. Today, there are plenty of people who are switching from internal combustion engines to electric cars, so they clearly want to see these comparative tests. All right, let's go. We have all-wheel drive, 2 electric motors, 520 horsepower, and acceleration to 100 in 3.9 seconds. Regarding the suspension, it features a dual air suspension system with a double wishbone in the front and a multi-lever in the rear. Soon they will release a hybrid version where they won't change the power, just add an internal combustion engine generator. It will be a sequential hybrid, like gilevich.eng, Voya, and Huawei crossovers. It will just charge the battery while driving, with no connection to the wheels. They come in various versions. The weakest ones accelerate to 108 seconds with 200 horses, while the E400, which is before AMG, is the most powerful. It accelerates in 4.5 seconds and has 400 horses. The suspension has double wishbones in front, multi-lever in the rear. Let's compare soundproofing. I let off the gas so the engine doesn't roar. Count the seconds. Look at my right foot, you can see it there. Pressing. 1.5 seconds it thought. How is this acceptable? In that time, the situation can change and I might not need to shoot anymore. You should press ahead of time, just like I did 15 years ago in a Toyota car. In one of my very first cars, I pressed the gas pedal in a Camry, knowing that in 2 seconds there would be a kickdown. In 2024, right? Such nonsense, really. Now the car is at its maximum height and the gauge showed 19 centimeters. We are not discussing design today. It's a matter of taste, both inside and out. We are not addressing that today. Let's check for creaks and compare the results. I placed the microphone here. There was a slight console noise. Nothing here. There's something here. Everything is good here. Let's check for creaks here now. Where to put it? All right, I'll hold it. There was a slight noise, but not much at all. It's good here. I mean, it creaks very well. By the way, it doesn't have to be plastic. You can order a hyperscreen, and it will completely cover the dashboard up to the passenger. If you don't have enough money for a full hyperscreen, but you don't want this plastic, you can get wood here. There you go. And you might think, well, because it's an E-Class, because it's the brand's power, and you need to buy a more expensive version, it will have better build quality. Let's go to the S-Class, Maybach S-Class. Let's check it out here. It wasn't here.
Oi. Oi. Oi.
And also here on the side.
Oi.
And the handle too. Here, the rear view mirror can be just a mirror, or it can be a display that broadcasts information from the camera that's on the rear bumper. The rear view mirror here is standard. You can't switch the mirror to the camera because, in their opinion, for $90,000, it's not luxurious enough. And probably they will say, why bother if there's no sunshade in the back? You can see everything anyway. And the shade is supposed to be, but for $90,000 isn't included. It turns out the sunshade costs such wild money, crazy money, that it's only in the Maybach. Only in a Maybach, which costs, you know. You don't want a mirror anymore because the camera has a wide lens. You press a button there and everything recedes. And you're a little unaccustomed for a while, then you start to get used to it. When you switch to the mirror, you realize that there's not enough information at all. I have this embrasure there. I can see everything, but not as well as I can see in the camera, because in the camera you see everything completely. Look at the great advantage of the camera. It's already dark outside, but in the camera, it's bright. Like in a Mercedes, there are 2 sunroofs with shades, but the ceiling is covered with more expensive upholstery. It's something like Alcantara, and here, the mirror has different modes available. The passenger has the same modes as well. That is, you can change to warmer or cooler lighting and adjust its brightness level. Here, it's regular fabric, not Alcantara. Luxury is not enough for $90,000, I repeat. And here are such mirrors. They have no more electronics at all. They have no buttons, that's all. Front ventilation heating, rear ventilation heating in the top version. They offer several interior color options. Now I'll show you what they have. Genuine Napa leather, not just in the center but all over. Here as well and here too. Besides the fact that there is ventilation and heating in the front and back, there are also massages, both in the front and the back. And in the back, as you might guess, the total destruction begins. A total debacle. There is a small table here, and there is also a refrigerator. 4 bottles will fit in, and there are 2 charging ports available. A huge armrest, a place for wireless phone charging. All of this is leather on the armrest. Inside, there's a small box with a charging port, and there is a small screen that you can adjust like this. You can raise it to different angles. The maximum angle is 45 degrees. The armrest also has a large piece of white-colored wood. And there are 2 cup holders. Also, for the rear passengers, the front ones don't have this. There is an additional sunshade. So, you understand, the back is fully covered with synthetic Napa technology leather. Same leather as on the top of the door cards. This is a projector. I'll show you now. And at the rear windshield, there is also a shade. I accidentally pressed the button. There's a button that closes everything at once. So you don't have to close this shade, this one, and this one separately. You just press the button, and that's it. It will make the darkest setting for the rear passengers. The only thing is that these corners will have to be closed manually. Press this button right here. Now this seat will start folding down, and I will have 0 gravity. Look. I can hang screens on the back of the front seats. They come with the package. And you can order both this and that at the same time if you want. Sometimes you want to watch this. Sometimes you just want the tablets. See, in order to have a quality picture here, I have to close as much as possible. press this button. Everything starts to close, as you can see. And now here on the screen, I can turn on some video for myself. I press 3 fingers and throw it up high.
Закидываю наверх.
Well, if you don't like this zero-gravity seat, you can. Like in a regular Mercedes, if I can say like this, like in a regular Mercedes S-Class, just move it. Hold on, wrong button pressed? Just move the seat forward if you need to. Moreover, you can also adjust it. Unfold the ottoman, like in a regular Mercedes S-Class. You can also adjust the backrest angle. The rear left passenger seat also moves forward and backward. This was my maximum extended position. And the backrest, as you can see, is also adjustable. But there's no ottoman here. The boss rides on the right side. This is all this equipment that's here for $65,000. They hang it in cars like Maybach, Bentley, and sell them for $500,000. And you can't say it's of unknown origin or unclear production. It's Huawei. All the electronics, massages, seat adjustments, screens, projector, fridge, all these zero-gravity seats, everything is completely made by Huawei. And it has a lifetime warranty for the first owner. Electronics, motors, electric motors, and the battery have a lifetime warranty for the first owner. Everything else in the car, like the suspension, is covered for 8 years or 150,000 kilometers. Where am I? This is the long version. As you can see, there's plenty of space in front of the knees. I don't feel cramped here. The backrest angle is sufficient for the city, but if it's a long trip, I would like to recline back for more comfort. There's no such option here. The backrest isn't adjustable. The seat isn't adjustable either. It has heating and ventilation features at maximum configuration. I can move the front seat if I want to, and that's it. It's clear why not. Because all of this is reserved for the S-Class. And not just the S-Class, but the Maybach S-Class. Because in the S-Class, there won't be a complete full package. Armrest. A wide, large, good. Inside, there's a small box lined with fabric. There are no charging ports available. No wireless charging either. And the display, of course, is only for the S-Class. It's not available here. You see, the button is broken. Showroom cars, the ones in dealerships. It doesn't matter if they're German, Japanese, or Chinese. They're always the most worn out. China is overpopulated, you know. Here, to understand, it's like a public walkway in showrooms. Kids come, kids run around, and no one says anything because they're kids. Kids step on things here with their feet. Kids jump on these seats. Grandmothers sometimes just go home from the market, go into these car dealerships, sit down, turn on their massage, TV, and sit under the massage for half an hour for free and watch movies. Okay, why are you showing us all these useless Chinese gizmos? Who would even need this stuff? The car is just for driving. What screens, what fridges? Only the Chinese need this kind of stuff. Okay, we are sitting in a luxurious Maybach, and it turns out that all of this appeared here by some magical means. Can you even imagine that? The refrigerator is in the back, a screen in the armrest, and 2 more screens. The seat started moving forward. This was the furthest position it could reach. See, I'm moving backward. The backrest is rising up. Where is the ottoman? Of course it's here. There are also sunshades. Alcantara appeared on the ceiling. Can you imagine? So it turns out that all these fancy gadgets are so incredibly expensive that they are given only to wealthy individuals. Not to those who just need to drive straight ahead. Not to them. This is for people of a higher level. They really need it. The entire door panel is covered in fake leather, completely. The leather is of quite good quality, no complaints. The bottom is also covered with fake leather and fabric. In the new BMW 5 Series, I think in all trims, the bottom is just bare plastic. Here it's covered, no complaints. It's plastic here now, but you can order a piece of wood as an option. The Stelato has slightly richer materials on the door card. First, there's a larger piece of wood. Secondly, there's the same artificial leather on the top and bottom. The same in principle decent quality, but in the center there is a large piece of genuine leather. Unfortunately, we couldn't record a full test drive of the Mercedes-Benz. What you saw we managed to record on Wednesday. We took the car and I drove it around. For half an hour, tested it on my own. Then I wanted to give a brief summary as usual, but it started raining heavily, and we barely recorded anything. We came back the next day and Mercedes wouldn't give me the car again. In any case, it's not a problem. I managed to test it properly on Wednesday. Moving on. For the top Mercedes E400, the highest version of the E-Class, not comparing AMG, it costs $90,000. For the top Stelato with 520 horsepower, they ask $62,000, which is 50% cheaper than the top E-Class. Drive comfort. You know, it seemed to me to be almost the same. Maybe the Stelato is just a little bit softer. Despite predictions that the S9 would outdo the S-Class with a super advanced, incredibly soft suspension, it isn't true. This car isn't as soft as the S-Class, but it is still quite comfortable. Almost like the E-Class, maybe a bit softer. Here's something else I want to mention. The suspension noise in the E-Class is a bit quieter than here. That's it. I don't mean to say it's noisy here. Everything is at a premium level. Worth the price, definitely. But in the E-Class, it works a bit quieter. This is a fact. Handling. They officially stated on the Stelato website. The Moose test result is 81 kilometers per hour, which is impressive. And I'll tell you, it seems true. It's definitely sharper than the E-Class. Very similar to the Neo ET7 in steering. So, the suspension conclusion is this. Compared to the E-Class, the Stelato suspension is a bit louder, but it's a bit softer and more comfortable. In handling, the Stelato is significantly sharper than the E-Class. This handling bonus is because the Stelato is an electric car. It has a heavy battery in the center, low center of gravity. Brakes were insufficient. But remember, the Stelato has recuperation mode. You can drive with one pedal here. That's a serious advantage. The drag coefficient is 0.19. Today, it's the best result in the world. No one has a better result. However, many cars have similar results. Couldn't find out the E-Class result. Either the dealer didn't know or didn't want to say. I'm more comfortable sitting here. And it's not because it's a better seat. The seat there is also decent. The steering wheel extends more here. I can stretch my legs. I sit straight. I reach the wheel, but my knee is fully pressed. I can't stretch my legs and pull the wheel like in the Stelato. It's less comfortable here. By the way, this is the downside of this hyperscreen. Yes, it's beautiful, really, but it has a ledge here that presses against the knee. That's it. Notice the steering wheel extension. The last time I saw such an extension was in the BMW iX. It turns out that I can actually almost stretch my legs, almost stretch them fully. That means I have my knee, shin, and thigh at about this angle, which is quite comfortable. Sitting here is much more comfortable than in the E-Class, thanks to the steering wheel extension. As you guessed, the menu here is old Nintendo-like. The map lags a bit. Where am I? Where did I end up? Where did I end up? Where am I? Catch me. Catch my finger. In general, the map is lagging. From top to bottom, we usually want to see hot buttons. Here are some notifications. Look, I'm already pointing it to go up. Why do I have to get out of here somehow?
Whoa.
Oh, finally we did it. Victory. The screen quality is neither worse nor better than there. Great screen quality. Truly great. So, there are no questions about the picture itself. The picture is magnificent. I think everything is clear here. This topic has been covered many, many times, and it's clear to everyone that the map here just flies, while there they are still stuck somewhere. All right, let's summarize. They apparently decided to enter cleverly. They are trying to enter a segment where no one is, and they are also undercutting prices. Well, I think they are not operating at a loss, but most likely breaking even. They can afford it today. Huawei has a lot of money. Well, the top-of-the-line E400 4MATIC has to cost... How would I assess it as fairly as possible? $40,000, not 90. All right, friends, thanks for your attention. If you liked it, give a bold like. Subscribe to the channel. Take care of yourself, eat healthy food, exercise. See you soon.